They are holding the football. They are keeping the run game down for Washington in a lot of ways, but just keeping them on the bench. The turnovers, these turnovers happen right away, 2 for each team. And really, the Redskins are lucky that Arizona didn't make more of those turnovers than they have. But this is exactly the kind of game that Vince Tobin would like to have and wanted to have. To stay in it, to keep plugging away, keep the run game down, put the ball in the hands of Gus Frerotte.
Well, Vince Tobin, this is his first shot at becoming a head coach in the NFL after coordinating 2 of the league's finest defenses at Indianapolis and Chicago. It's been a rough season at 3-6. But oh, what a win here today would do. And for the Redskins, well aware that Buffalo is leading Philadelphia up at Veterans Stadium.
Well, see, that's the problem. They got to stop worrying about what other people are doing and take care of their own business, because they're on the verge here of having a bad one against the Cardinals.
Mitchell from the 10 and has blockers in front of him and actually tripped up by his own man. And they are saying he is down at the 37-yard line. So very good field position, as Edwards was the first man there to chop him down and actually tag him down.
Gus Frerotte, I mean, they have thrown now. Look at McCleskey. He's not feeling too good, obviously.
He looks like Tyson did in about the 11th round last night.
Oh, well.
McCleskey helped off the field. Gus Frerotte threw a lot more than you normally see him throw in the first half of this game.
That's way too much for throwing for Gus Frerotte. I know Northern doesn't want him throwing that much in a game.
Jenkins is returned. Allen, the lone setback. Penalty flag comes down, and he's tripped up after a gain of 1 by Simeon Rice. So referee is Howard Rowe, and they're going to move back Washington. Maybe Jenkins started a little early after going in motion.
He might have drifted toward the line of scrimmage. Terry Allen, funny talking to him. He said, I don't count.
Illegal motion. Number 21, moving at the snap. Penalized 5 yards. Repeat first down.
Well, that's Terry Allen. They got him that time for moving a little bit, leaning forward before the snap. But Terry Allen, like he said, he doesn't count his carries. He doesn't get involved in the yards before the game. I mean, during the game and all that kind of stuff. He just tries to keep an even flow throughout the quarter. He doesn't get caught up in how many yards he has and what he's going to do.
Jenkins again in motion, and again the give is to Allen, and Eric Swan breaks through the Washington offensive line to make the tackle. Swan has been very active here today, the 26-year-old out of Lillington, North Carolina.
You want to know why they've been so good against the run? You got a guy that's that quick. They can't block him like that. You know what Jim Hannafin, the offensive line coach, told me? He said, you got to be careful running away from certain nose tackles, because he tried to run away from Howie Long earlier in his career, and Howie would chase it down from the backside. That's exactly what Swan did just then. You don't want to run at him, but you got to be careful running away from him too.
2nd and 17, and Frerotte will take off. He will stay on his feet, and depending on the spot, may have a first down. Jameer Miller was giving chase, and it looks as though Aeneas Williams is shaken up on the play, and it is a first down. Williams ran into his own man, Brett Alexander, while giving chase after Gus Frerotte, and what a blow this would be to the Cardinal defense.
Well, that would be a huge blow to the corners. I mean, Aeneas Williams has been the only solid player back there in the last couple years for them. You know, they just picked up Ronnie Bradford this year. He was at Denver for the last few years. The safety position has been in tatters a bit. Brett Alexander coming down playing corner now and then. Frerotte doing a nice job of taking it down and taking control and saying, I'm going to run with the ball. Right there, that's where he got it. Looked like one of his own men came across. You can see Jameer Miller.
Brett Alexander was right, came flying into your picture. Aeneas Williams is still down on the field. 17-yard gain, the longest run in Gus Ferrotte's career. We'll check on Williams. Be back in a moment.
right here. Brett Alexander is going to come across and hit Aeneas right there. That's why it's important to keep your eyes open when you come across this pile.
Terry Allen on the first down carry, met head on by Eric Hill. So now the man on the spot with Williams on the Cardinal bench.
Williams is back. He just walked on. There he is.
And that means Tito Paul heads back to the sideline. So that's good news that Aeneas Williams apparently is just fine. Williams Pro Bowl seasons in '94 and '95. Had 15 interceptions over those 2 years. Right on a 2nd and 9. Penalty flags down on the play. Allen makes a reception out of the backfield and picks up just 2. So it'll bring up 3rd down and long, but we'll have to find out about the penalty flag from our referee Howard Rowe.
Bankston got a great jump. He got a great jump because on that left side there, Ed Simmons moved. Somebody's down here. Who is that? That's Bradford now. The corner, he's down. Boy, this defense, they have gone through some retooling since Buddy came in there with the 46. I mean, he came in and it was like blitz mania. The corners were bump and run, and the linebackers.
Illegal shift on the offense. We have 2 men moving simultaneously. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Linebackers are moving all over the place and running around making plays. And Eric Swan, we talked about him. He was playing over the center position. It's been an adjustment to go back to just base, read, and react defense that Tobin has them playing. Ronnie Bradford's the guy that got hurt on this play. This is after the penalty. Now there's Bradford right there. You see Galbraith came over and put a shot on his shoulder. It's a borderline clip.
Well, the Cardinals are very thin in their secondary. Now, Aeneas Williams was hit on the leg, just kicked, so apparently he's all right. But now with Bradford down, they made D.J. Johnson inactive for today's game. So now a little shuffling in the cards for Arizona.
And you see McCluskey off the field. It's Tito Paul right there, the 5th rounder in '95. He's going to have to come in and start for Bradford, who's shaking his head, saying, I don't know, this might be it.
After the penalty, a 2nd and 14 for Farad, and they set up a screen the other way to Terry Allen. But a swarming Cardinal defense stops in at the 46-yard line, led by Seth Joyner. That'll bring up 3rd down, and just under 10 to go for Washington. Opening drive of the 2nd half, and they're looking at the shoulder area of Ronnie Bradford. They didn't bring him in until the first week of the season. As Ron Pitts mentioned, he was let go by Denver.
And you know, they went after him early. And Westbrook played against and played with Ronnie Bradford at University of Colorado. He told the coaches, I can beat him. And he did beat him early.
3rd down and 10. Farad to the far side of the field. Reception made. 1st down for Michael Westbrook.
And now he's beating Tommy Bennett. You're matching up your safety. The injuries back there, they're going to get some bad matchups. And now you got your safety, Tommy Bennett, man-to-man on Michael Westbrook. That's going to be tough coverage for Tommy Bennett. Michael Westbrook is slowly coming into his own. And, you know, he's been under a lot of criticism here, you know, because of his attitude a little bit. Makes one play here, gets excited, and then drops the ball in the next play.
Fired across the middle. And the reception made to the 18-yard line by Henry Ellard.
Henry Ellard, 4th on the all-time receivers list in the NFL. Tell you, that's a matchup, too, that the Redskin coaches wanted. Ellard on Aeneas Williams. They think Aeneas Williams is a good athlete, a great athlete, but that right there is one of the best technicians that you're going to find in Henry Ellard. He can work on you up the field. You're better off trying to play him bump than playing from off.
Bradford checking back into the game. Apparently he's all right. A bruised shoulder is the report. 1st down, Washington at the 18. Allen cuts it back, but not much room to run. Jameer Miller there on the tackle. Well, the Redskins have been like money in the bank when they get inside the opposition's 20-yard line. Look at those numbers. Perfect.
You know, that's why having a good offensive line helps you. You know, not only do they get in situations where they can use their tight ends and pass, but the run game is good for them down here. And like North Turner said, you do what you do the best. And he sticks with what he does the best down here.
Drive consuming the first 5 minutes of the second half. The ball at the 17. It's second down and 8. And Farad to throw, looking for 6. He got it to Westbrook.
Boy, has Michael Westbrook stepped up this game or what? This may be a breakthrough game for him. You know, he got hurt in training camp, came back maybe a little bit early, got hurt again. People started to talk about him. He's just going to take Aeneas Williams inside, and I can't believe that Aeneas Williams is 100% healthy. He makes a nice drive on the ball, but you get that ball up in the air for a tall, rangy guy like that and let him come down with it. I think it's been a matter of less talk and more play from Michael Westbrook and more attention to the details of the game and listening to his wide receiver coach, Terry Rubisky, who's doing an excellent job with him.
5 receptions for Westbrook. That's his first touchdown of this 96th season. Clocking literally here at RFK Stadium. They will move into a brand new stadium just 5 miles down the road.
Boy, does it look nice.
Oh, yeah. Oh. But they won't build it till the stadiums move, or rather the seats move.
They can move there, too. I'm sure after a while they'll move.
Farad perfect on the Redskins scoring drive. So now Arizona will get its first try offensively in the second half. And it's brought out to the 34-yard line by Leland McElroy.
Here's a touchdown again now, right here. That's Tommy Bennett. Aeneas Williams is right here. He thinks he has help, but in a read 2 coverage, if this man continues up the field like that, he's got to go get him. That means this part of the field is wide open. Aeneas Williams just lost his help because of the coverage and because of a good route inside by Henry Ellis.
Well, Boomer Esiason rushes his team to the line of scrimmage. They pitch it to LaShawn Johnson, who lowers his shoulder and bangs his way to the 37-yard line. Went racing right into Ken Harvey.
See, that's LaShawn Johnson right there. Taking them shots, gets up smiling. It's just another ride on the bull.
Well, many know the story by now about Johnson undergoing laser surgery on both eyes back in April of this year to correct nearsightedness. It was so bad he couldn't see a ball being thrown to him, and thinks it had a lot to do with his ineffectiveness at Green Bay. Esiason has it batted into the air, and is it intercepted by Boutte? Yes, it is.
Great play by Boutte. He bats it and gets his own pick. Unbelievable. I thought Boomer was waiting a little bit too long. The protection is excellent. You let your quarterback sit there like that, you're doing your job. Boutte right there. Now, he's not going to get near the quarterback. Redmond doing a pretty decent job of holding him out. Look at this. Boy, that's the second lineman's dream. The first one is picking up and running back for a touchdown. The second one is intercepting it off your own tip. That's just one of those things. I mean, he had a lot of time to look over the defense. Give some credit to the Redskins secondary as well.
20-13 in favor of Washington, and they get the football. Terry Allen spins away from a couple of tacklers, and he's to the 32. Michael Bankston able to drag him down.
And what the Cardinals don't need right now is for this crowd to get in the game. I mean, this place erupted when Boutte made that interception.
For Allen, second down and 5 for the Redskins. And Allen will get it again. No room this time.
Seth Joyner has turned it up a notch. I mean, here's a guy that after last year in the offseason had to take that pay cut. I thought he was going to be out of there. I really did. And then they let go of Clyde Simmons, his buddy. That wasn't very kosher around the area there. And he has just said, hey, I'm here to play football. Buddy's gone. Whoever's here, we got to play for. And they've adapted well, going back to just a base 43 defense.
Loss of 2 brings up a 3rd and 7. Brian Mitchell is checked into the game. And now Farad being chased, sets up a screen, but Arizona read it beautifully, and heavy pressure on Farad by Simeon Rice, the rookie out of Illinois.
Simeon Rice, so fast around the corner, and a smart player too. They're trying to run that oh-no screen. It's actually called something else, but I can't talk about it. I can't say that. And the penetration just so good. They had never had a chance.
Well, the rain beginning to
rain or snow.
Well, rain for right now. They said turning to snow later as the temperatures drop. This is a huge defensive stand for Arizona.
It is. Arizona has been almost perfect against Washington inside the red area. I mean, they are dominating when it gets down close, except for that last touchdown to Westbrook.
The pooch kick by Turk, and it's a good one. Has a man down there. It goes out of bounds just inside the 4-yard line. 31-yard punt. And you can't do it much better than that.
Porsche, who wish to remind you there is no substitute.
RFK Stadium crowd rocking as Arizona will begin this drive trailing 20-13, 8:03 to play in the 3rd quarter. From inside their own 5, Esiason under the rookie center Aaron Graham. And he's going to throw from his own end zone and looking for the long ball. Goes up top, and it's nearly intercepted. He had an eye on Sanders, but with him step for step was Tom Carter. Very good coverage.
They know what they had and what they did right before halftime, so they're going to go back to it. But Tom Carter's got his eye on Boomer Esiason the whole time. Plus, Frank Sanders is injured. He doesn't have 100% go in him. Nice play. Nice job of using the sidelines as your help. I think this is a crucial drive for Arizona. If they can come out of this hole, get down the field, they'll stay in this football game.
First time all day today that Larry Centers has touched the football, and he's across the 5. And so here you are, midway through the 3rd quarter, and Larry Centers, the 2nd leading receiver in the NFC, 61 receptions on the year. He caught 101 last year to establish an NFL record for a running back, and he just now touches the ball.
See, I mean, that's an excellent point, Tom Brenneman. I can't understand it, and I heard what Vince Tobin said in the meeting, but it's not how many times you get the guy, it's when you get it to him. Why wait this long? Give the guy the ball.
Third down and 8. They need to get to the 14-yard line, and they drop off a screen to Centers, and he's going to be very close to the first down. He's got it.
He's got it. Depending on the market, he's got it clear.
Well, you talk about a player who plays with the never-say-die attitude. It is Larry Centers.
Went to the Pro Bowl last year. Here's one reason why. This guy, get him out of the backfield, and Centers is so strong and runs so low that he always falls forward and gets those positive yards. That's called pushing the pile. Look at Al Everest, the special teams coach. You think he doesn't know that?
Funny, he's into the game at the 1-yard line and got all the way with nothing but tacklers in front of him to the 15-yard line to pick up the first down.
If you're not going to put your tight ends in the game like Arizona hasn't up till today, then you got to invent a tight end, an extra tight end. And Centers is your extra tight end. He can be that guy, but only better, of course, in open field.
Saw on the scoreboard that Buffalo thrashing Philadelphia at Veterans Stadium 24-10. Boy, the Bills have picked it up. Gain of 3, a 2nd and 7, and Esiason falls down. He still hasn't been touched to try to throw from his span.
Well, wait, did that ball get to the line of scrimmage? No. No, either way in the pocket, they're going to call it.
And that's a loss of down.
Either way in the pocket, they're going to call it.
Boy, this looks like a bad call.
Well, if he's out of the pocket, if he gets it back to the line of scrimmage, it's not intentional grounding. See if someone steps on it right there. Sure did. It looked like Selby. Selby not used to being in there. He stepped back with his drop step foot. Watch Selby's right foot. You see that?
Intentional grounding on the quarterback. 10-yard penalty. Loss of down. Brings up third down.
That's a huge one. That's a 10-yarder. And I was just saying, if he is outside the pocket and throws that ball, gets back to the line of scrimmage, it's not intentional grounding. In the pocket, they're going to call it. So and he was trying to argue that he had somebody to throw to there. Been hard. There goes Sinners.
They're going to back him up all the way to the 8-yard line. It'll present a 3rd and 17. The first down marker is just inside the 25-yard line. Rain still falling at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. 5:58 to go, third quarter, and Washington leads by 7. Open receiver and dropped by Rob Moore. Arizona will have to punt it away out of its own end zone. At least if Moore makes a reception, maybe he doesn't get a first down, but they're not punting out of their own end zone.
Even if Moore catches the ball, I don't think he's going to get the first down. He breaks his route off about 3 yards short of the marker. I think that may have been the series that turns the game now for Washington.
Well, we'll see if they're able to take advantage of what would be a great field position. And punting out of his own end zone is Spiegel's very short kick takes an Arizona bounce. So Washington will take over in Cardinal territory at the 47-yard line. Just a 39-yard punt for Spiegels. We saw Rob Moore drop the pass from Boomer Esiason a moment ago, and he's in a great deal of pain. They're looking at his left hand, left wrist area.
Obviously, he's in big pain there. I hate that, too. They always start touching on you. Does that hurt? Does that hurt?
First down, Washington. At the Arizona 47, and Farad to throw. And it's overthrown to the intended receiver, Henry Ellard, and Farad is down and slow to get up. Really slow to get up. Great views of today's game, and Washington, D.C. being done in a way not seen on sports television before. The unique airplane called the Miller Eagle. Great to have them with us now for the last 3 weeks, twice in Green Bay and once here in Washington. Look at that starting field position here in the second half.
That's been the difference.
Farad will stay in there. Looking downfield, fires, and it's caught. What a catch made by Westbrook, his 6th of the game. It's a first down to the Cardinal 30-yard line.
If the Cardinals are going to come up with an 8-man front to try to slam the run, which they've been doing a lot of today, then they're going to try to throw behind it. And if a guy starts out hot, then get to him and get him the ball off him. And that's what they do. As soon as Eric Hill gets out of the hole, look at the hole open up. That's what you call throwing in the window. His way inside, and he has close to 8 yards right now for McDonald's gate break. Let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Tom, while the Skins continue to drive there, take a look. The Chiefs have been waiting 3 years for Greg Hill to break out. Boy, does he do it today. 3 touchdowns on the day, 5 in the last 2 weeks. KC up big over Green Bay. Back to Tom and Ron.
See, Green Bay's perimeter problem may be starting to get exposed. It didn't show the last couple of weeks against people like the Tampa Bay and Detroit. If they go to Kansas City, a tough place to play, it's coming out.
First down. It appears as though Allen was able to get there. But Terry Allen, boy, you start getting inside the opposition's 20, then down inside the 10. And this guy on a record pace, Emmitt Smith, in the season last year when he broke the all-time NFL record with 25 rushing touchdowns. And right now Terry Allen is on pace to break that record in 27. You see John Riggins holds the Redskin record.
It's amazing. The Vikings were 7-0 every time he went over 100 yards. I mean, those are not popcorn stats. Those mean something. You know, you look at him and the guy is not a juker. He's not going to fake you out. He's not real fast, but he runs with leverage. He runs low, and he's always ready to uncoil into you when you get ready to tackle him.
Ball at the 19. continues to slither his way inside the 15, down to the 11. Darby on the tackle. You know the one thing about Allen, Ron, he doesn't get enough credit on. Guys say that the Redskins maybe miss a power back when they get down close, a John Riggins-like player. Well, this guy is a power back.
Yeah, and you know what? All good backs, especially power backs, always have their feet on the ground. It seems like an elementary point. But you see the way he's got that good lean and that good body forward motion. I mean, it's hard to get surface area to tackle a guy like that.
Gain of 8, 3rd and 2. Allen again. They're just going to keep giving him the ball. He has a first down inside the 10-yard line, down to the 8-yard line. Washington has thoroughly dominated the second half.
Yeah, but he's got guys up front that can dominate you, too. You talked about Big Trey Johnson, over 330 pounds. I think they're tougher inside because of Jeff Ulenek going in there and replacing Corey Raymer, who was injured in the accident. Bob Dahl on the other side, he's another 300-pounder. I mean, it's like the history of the team. The Hogs, he's got the Band-Aid to breathe right over his nose.
He's got 2 of them.
He needs 2 Band-Aids, yeah. I mean, this is what they have always done. They've always been able to mash on you. And like you said, Tom, back to the days of Riggo and Jacoby up front and Grimm. I mean, and look at this. Look at what they do right here. I mean, that is a whole lot of beef.
Eric England and Brad Otis have checked in. 1st and goal for the Redskins from the 9. Allen, play fake, Farad to throw. This is nearly intercepted, and Westbrook may have gotten away with pass interference. It was. Now a flag comes in.
It should be pass interference on Westbrook.
But the question is, will they get Aeneas Williams?
Wow, I want to see this one. From my angle, all I could see was when he pulled on Aeneas Williams. Aeneas Williams was in front of him.
The head linesman is Aaron Pointer. He's talking with a back judge, Tony Corrente.
I know I saw Westbrook grab Aeneas Williams and pull.
Pass interference. Number 35 defense. The interference was in the end zone. By rule, spot the ball on a 1-yard line. First down.
They spotted on the 1. Aeneas Williams is not a complainer. He does not talk during the game. Right here, that's the matchup at the bottom of the field. Now, Aeneas is going to do a pretty good job of stuffing him right about here. See, I saw the pull right there. They disappeared out of the screen for an instance. There may have been contact. That's hard to see.
Terry Allen, yes, he has another rushing touchdown, his 16th of the season.
Isn't it funny how Terry, when we asked him about the touchdown record, he was like, eh, he could hardly care. I said, Terry, don't you understand? You can get this record? He said, well, maybe I can, maybe I can't. I think he was just giving us a snow job on that one.
Well, the pass interference call, a big one. It got Washington. They were 1st and goal from the 9. It would have brought up a 2nd and goal. Then the late flag comes in, puts them 1st and goal at the 1. And when Allen gets it, phone it in.
And what did they do? They did what they do best. They ran the football down there close. And it all started because of the bad field position for Arizona early in this half.
And the extra point is good by Scott Blanton. So Terry Allen goes in for a touchdown, 27-13.
They come with a nice play action. It's the pass interference. And if you look at the bottom of your screen to the left, you can see right there, Westbrook has his left hand on Aeneas Williams. But Aeneas Williams has his shirt right there.
You know, the only quarrel
you got 2 officials standing right there.
And then it's a late flag.
And
that's
it's a late flag. If you're going to throw the flag, throw it, be decisive, and get it down.
It's 27-13 Washington. Still a lot of time left. Just 2:45 to play until the end of the 3rd quarter. And Leland McElroy brings it out to the 32-yard line.
I tell you the guy who I think is responsible for this score right now, especially the second half, the punter, Matt Turk. Remember, He kicked that ball in the coffin corner there, got the possession on the 1-yard line for Arizona. They had a lot of problems from then on. They never got out of that hole. The people want to know, what makes a team good? Well, heck, the best defense is your punter a lot of times. Remember those years with Oakland Raiders and Ray Guy? A great defense player by just punting the ball to the other end of the field.
Johnny McWilliams, who made his first catch as a pro earlier today. He now has 4 of them for 40 yards.
Boy, Johnny McWilliams got in a real ugly contract battle. Didn't get in till very, very late in the season, as a matter of fact.
Esiason will give it to LaShawn Johnson, and he's close to a first down. Needed to get to the 42-yard line. And depending on the spot, Arizona certainly a chance to get back in this one. They're going to bring out the sticks for a measurement. Well, we'd like to remind you that coming up later, it'll be the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers, except for those of you in Washington. This is the 4th straight year these two teams have met. 49ers have won the last 3, including that '94 NFC title game. But the bottom line is, they may have lost the last 3 games, Dallas, but the last time I checked, they've won 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls.
It's an important stat.
Yes, it is.
Well, there it is. People want to know what changes that game. It's turnovers. I mean, that's the difference. That was the difference a couple years ago in the NFC Championship game when Dallas never got out of that hole from the turnovers early.
3rd down and inches. Esiason will pick up the first down as he leads behind his big center, the rookie out of Nebraska, Aaron Graham, who is filling in for the injured Mike Devlin.
If I have Larry Centers on the field and they've got some people down on the field and they're slow to get up, that's Harvey. Boy, that's going to be a blow. That's going to be a huge blow.
And of course, Harvey, a first-round pick for the Cardinals back in 1988 out of Cal.
Can you believe this? A guy had never been in a playoff game. All those tackles, all those great plays, but has never been anywhere near the show.
Batonho takes over for Harvey. Out of the backfield, center stays on his feet, has a first down inside the 45 to the 43, but a penalty flag comes down. And this might be holding against Arizona. Yes, it is.
You know,
Holding number 60 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Anthony Redmond. The right guard got called for the hold that time. Hey, they've had some people struggle on this offensive line. I know they brought in Lomas Brown along with the ball Love on the left side, but on the right side has been their big concern.
Well, they're hoping to get Big Ernest Dye back here relatively soon. He's missed most of the season, and the deal is to Johnson on the first down, or rather Centers. I apologize, and he's to the 35.
You know what? I like that. I like half of that. If Centers is on my team, I'm going to throw him the ball on first down. Dump it to him out of the backfield. And then I'm going to come with the run game with LaShawn Johnson. Because you pound LaShawn, and now third down comes up. Well, everybody in the darn park knows you're going to try to get the ball to Larry Centers if the down and distance is long.
2nd and 18 for the Cardinals.
Wow, look at this. Sterling Palmer, what are you doing?
Just running onto the field. And he's charging.
Watch him get a sack. Watch him get a sack.
He fumbles, and the ball is covered up by Arizona's Joe Wolf.
What was Sterling Palmer doing?
Rich Owens delivered the hit that jarred the ball loose.
I tell you, he comes running off the sideline and almost makes the play, almost falls into a sack. That's what you call literally falling into a sack.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Redskins in front of the Cardinals. 27-13. This is the NFL on Fox.
What is he doing? Right there coming off the field. I guess he's running the the blitz and rush technique coming on the field just late. And there's Rich Owens there. He's the one who actually makes the sack. I mean, Palmer has no idea what he's doing. He's just rushing and almost falls into it.
How about if he'd have picked that up
That's
off the fumble
amazing.
and run in for the touchdown?
Meanwhile, the Cardinals are thinking, uh-oh, here comes one late. They're thinking it's all planned. And now the other teams, Philadelphia's going to see that and say, wow, we got to watch this play. He's going to come from way on the numbers and then blitz on the outside, so we got to be ready for this. Meanwhile, Palmer had no idea what he was doing. He was just out there.
So we're set to begin the fourth quarter. The 3rd and 26 for the Cardinals. They were outscored 14-0 in the third. And Esiason, a long ball, has an open receiver, Moore. And he makes a reception all the way to the 33-yard line.
It looks like they caught him again in that same cover 2 type of defense right up the seam. Excuse me, right up the sidelines. But it all starts with the protection. You know, with the injuries they had, we didn't expect for it to be this good. I mean, Boomer Esiason doesn't even go to the ground. Once again, Tom Carter getting the jam and then falling off in cover 2. He's staying below. The safety can't get over there. It's the second time in a row, and you see the way Moore tucked that ball one to make sure he caught it.
Sean Johnson tries to break it to the outside, but Sean Gilbert wrapped him up, had some help from Marcus Patton. So on a 3rd and 26, Arizona gets 33 yards on the completion to Moore.
I mean, here it is. Now, there's Pounds once again, okay? He's got to protect himself inside. He's got to split that field with Stanley. And if you let the receiver up the perimeter fast, he cannot get there. There's no way. You have to get him firm.
Loss of 2 on the carry by Johnson, and here's a 2nd and 12. They're coming after Esiason, and he throws high to the tight end, Johnny McWilliams. Right now, McDonald's game break time. Let's return to our Fox Television Center. Our main man, James Brown.
Tom, it's been Kansas City all over Green Bay, but Favre trying to make it a game as he goes up top, connects with Don Beebe. 5th touchdown this season, 27-13 in the 4th. Most of you will see Dallas at San Francisco. That's the 2nd game of our doubleheader here on Fox. Back to Tom and Ron.
Speaking of Pro Bowl receivers, does Don Beebe have a shot for the Pro Bowl after this year? The way he's played? Seriously. I mean, let's seriously consider it. The guy has stepped up and made some huge plays every week.
Jailbreak after Esiason. He's looking for more down the sideline. He makes the catch and is down at the 1-yard line. A penalty flag came in late. Boy, Esiason is working over the left side of the Washington secondary. It starts with Tom Carter. That's a gain of 33. And you have to believe this will be pass interference against Washington.
Man-to-man this time, Tom Carter.
Pass interference.
You cannot make
number 25 on a defense. That penalty's declined.
I tell you,
result of the play is the catch for 1st down.
If they call Tom Carter for that, that's really being chintzy, because both guys are making a play running down the field. The only problem is Tom Carter is not looking at the ball, and that's why they call it.
Or it looked like Moore even got away with it.
Yeah, he is, but Carter has to be looking at the ball.
Centers and Smith in the I formation. Centers will get the football, and he's close to the goal line. Touchdown, Larry Centers, and Arizona is back in the game, boys and girls. Esiason locks up with Rob Moore for 2 long receptions, 33 yards apiece, 66 yards total, and then Centers goes in.
Just a big play. Rob Moore, a guy who we showed a few minutes ago on the sideline, can hardly keep his eyes open. He's in so much pain. Makes 2 huge catches here.
So now Kevin Butler on for the extra point out of the hold of Jeff Beagles, trying to make it a 7-point Washington lead, and he does. So with 13:35 to play from RFK, Larry Centers has drawn the Cardinals to within a touchdown.
It is brought to you by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. By Doctor's Khakis. Hey, nice pants. And by the Oral-B Plaque Remover, providing unsurpassed clinical performance.
Been a rough day for Tom Carter, the fourth-year cornerback out of Notre Dame, who the Washington defensive coaches will tell you was making great strides last season and now this season. But Boomer Esiason has picked on him with regularity today. And all of a sudden a 7-point Washington lead with 13:30 to play in the game. Mitchell from the 10. Tries to cut it to the outside and does, and he's out close to the 30, shoved out of bounds by Anthony Edwards.
Here's the key play on that drive, the interference penalty on Carter. Now, if Carter is not looking at the ball, he cannot make contact. Right there. Contact 1, contact 2. I thought his head was turned at first, but now we saw that he was not looking at the ball, looking at the receiver. That will be interference, and it is a good call. And, you know, Carter, like you said, he was a guy that has been playing better, and he's where he's got to be, but he can't do that there. As a cornerback in the NFL, you got to have the shortest memory around.
Big series for the Washington offense and the Cardinal defense, and they're looking for the big one to Westbrook. And batted down, covered beautifully by Ronnie Bradford, and a penalty flag now comes in. And Jameer Miller races all the way out there to have something to say to the officials. We may have another pass interference call.
Well, that's interesting because that's the matchup that Norv Turner wanted. Westbrook went to the coaches and said, I can beat Ronnie Bradford.
Pass interference. Number 23 on the defense. First down, Washington.
We played together at the University of Colorado. I beat him every day in practice. Now they try to call him for that left arm. I don't see that one. He's turned, he's looking at the ball. I don't see it. Right there. He can do that. By rule, you can do that. He can put a hand on it. He can get away with that. Especially since he's turned and looking at the quarterback.
But 31.
And that's why they did it. Yeah, like you said, that's
31-yard penalty, and a screen is set up to Mark Logan. And he is chopped down by Bradford at the 25-yard line.
Westbrook, like I was saying, he said that I've beaten Ronnie Bradford every day in practice at the University of Colorado. Give me the ball, match me up on him, I can get him again. Logan now doing a nice job of catching the ball like everybody else is catching it. Well, Ronnie Bradford, now he's got to come up and tackle Logan after getting roasted by Westbrook.
First and 10 at the 15. This is Terry Allen, and he picks up close to 3 yards to the 21. 12:30 and counting remaining here at RFK. Redskins looking to go to 8-2, and the Cardinals trying to avoid falling to 3-7. It's been a huge day for Westbrook.
They have played the kind of game they want to play, without a doubt. And the credit's got to go to Boomer, because Boomer has come in, like we said, he had to make big plays, and people had to make big plays around him. They dropped some balls early, but now they've caught some.
Allen maybe picks up a yard to the 20, and he stopped there by Miller. Michael Westbrook came into the game. We talked about the knee injury that has bothered him all season long, and that started back in a preseason game against Detroit, the second preseason game. Injured the PCL tendon in his knee, missed the first game, injured it again in week 3, inactive the next 3. Today, he has 6 receptions for 91 yards. Coming into the game, he had 9 catches all year.
Like you said, you have to call it a breakout game, without a doubt.
3rd and 6, and they give it to Mitchell. First down, inside the 5, and Mitchell, no signal yet, is down at the 1-yard line.
Brian Mitchell had the biggest hole to run through I've ever seen in my life. It's going to be right over here. They come with the trap. Look at this. I mean, if you're Brett Alexander, you have to wonder what is going on. This is not my job, folks. I'm back here to cover the pass, not to tackle trucks running through the middle of the field.
And you can bet the ranch Terry Allen's getting the ball at the 1-yard line. Touchdown, Allen.
Well, you think now maybe he believes he can get that touchdown record? I do.
17 of them now. And again, the record is 25 rushing touchdowns. Jack Kent Cook knows he's going to have to pay Terry Allen as a free agent at the end of the year.
I don't think they're going to ask him to take a salary cut. 10 touchdowns the last 4 games. You know, it's one thing to have a 1,000-yard season and to put up the big numbers and all that, but what do you do for your team production-wise? Do you put points on the board? Because that makes you win.
2 more touchdowns today. Blant the point after. And that makes it a 14-point game with 10:37 to go. Terry Allen chasing the NFL record book. Touchdown advantage over Arizona, 34-20. Still lots of time. 10:37 to play. Of course, next week on Fox, a huge game for the Redskins. Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but certainly all the fans in Washington thinking already about the showdown with Philadelphia. They lost to the Eagles the first week of the season before reeling off 7 straight wins.
That's going to be a good old November headbang.
Tried the handoff again to Dowdell. Didn't fool anybody this time, and he's dropped to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, the key play there on that drive, the interference penalty. And we talked about the hand being on him. He doesn't really grab. He just puts it on him, and he's looking back at the quarterback. That's a tough call.
Well, we have an injured Cardinal down on the far side of the field. Kind of tough to tell from here who that might be. Well, while we have a moment, I'd like to remind you that November is the month for big stars, and coming up next Sunday, we talked about the Redskins and Eagles, Panthers, and the Rams, and that starts at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So November, the month for big movies. Tell you about that a little bit later, and it's also the month for some serious NFC East football.
The best football, without a doubt. A little cold, a little rainy. Wesley Leasey hurting. He'll be okay.
Well, you hope.
I thought early in the game, and I know the crowd was into it, that people were worried about what was going on up in Philadelphia. Let's see what happens with Wesley Leasey. he got a late shot. Boy, that's something. That's
Eric Brownlow.
Brownlow. Might be a little payback, though. You never know what goes on special teams.
First down for Esiason and the Cardinals at the 20. And Esiason throws behind the intended receiver, Rob Moore, covered beautifully by Darrell Green. When we're talking about the Eagles and Redskins getting together next week, those are the records going into play today. But as you can see, Philadelphia has moved within a touchdown of Buffalo at Veterans Stadium. Dallas and San Francisco coming up next here on Fox.
I'll tell you one thing. Washington cannot start out slow on defense like they did today against Philadelphia.
Larry Centers takes the football out to the 23-yard line. They'll bring up 3rd and 7.
They have to have a sense of urgency as we look at the offensive line there. Jim Hannafin. You know, I love those Polaroids because you come off the field and the coach says, "Did you block this guy? Were you in this zone?" And you say, "Yeah, I was there, coach. I was there." And then he hands you the Polaroid, and you're nowhere in the zone you're supposed to be, nowhere near it. Polaroids will make a liar out of you every single time.
3rd down. Esiason, good protection as a receiver across the middle. Anthony Edwards. One man to beat, the ball comes loose. And now a mad scramble for it.
Looks like Arizona got it back.
It does indeed. Bodies flying all over the field after the ball was jarred loose from Anthony Edwards. And who else? Larry Centers is at the other end of the field to cover it up.
You know, I thought that Boomer, look at the chain guys trying to get up the field. They're a little slow. They just stretched before the game. I thought Boomer was trying to hurry up to get a call in because you can see this Redskins had to go through a substitution change. They could have gotten an opportunity there, but they couldn't get the play in time.
21-yard gain, and Esiason again fires across the middle, jarred loose In and out of the hands of Frank Sanders.
Pounds coming down the field, pounding.
Well, you want to be a wide receiver in the NFL? You tell me the sounds of the game. Of course, Pounds knows a thing or two about getting hit. In the Philadelphia game, he broke his nose in 3 places before halftime and returned to play the rest of the game. That's a tough guy.
It's a tough guy. Sanders has that ball. But that's the kind of thing you have to instill in the middle of your field. That's yours, not theirs.
Esiason able to drop it off to center. He has a first down and more inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. And Stanley Richard pushed him out of bounds. Just when you think Arizona is dead and gone, they come racing right back down the field and now knocking on the door once again. 19-yard gain.
And the guy that comes knocking on the door all the time here is Larry Sanders. I don't know where he gets all those carries or all those receptions we've been seeing, but they haven't been at the right time. Today, they've been at the right time, at least in the second half.
Sanders in motion. Esiason again to throw for the end zone, and he overthrows Pat Carter, the tight end.
That's pretty good coverage that time. 45, Brian Walker, the rookie, staying in the seam, not getting undisciplined there and chasing a run fake or anything else like that around the field, staying right where he's supposed to be. Boomer Esiason has taken this team up and down the field, Tom. And we knew coming in the defense for Washington had to play a little bit better. And it had their problems. But he's also had his problems, but not today.
295 yards passing on the afternoon for Boomer Esiason. And he's back to add to that total. Throws a bullet in there to Carter, who makes a reception and carries a couple of would-be tacklers along with him, close to another first down. The last 300-yard passing game by Boomer Esiason was against Buffalo on November the 19th of 1995. And that was a losing effort. And he's just gone to 304 today.
They're still having a problem getting the plays in. They've wasted a lot of time off the clock just trying to get this play going.
On your picture there, Kent Graham, the man that Esiason is replacing. Play clock at 3 on a third down. Esiason to the end zone, and the catch is made. Touchdown in the far corner by Johnny McWilliams, the first touchdown of his NFL career.
Good job, man. You all right? Come on, man. Get up.
Johnny McWilliams, a guy, SC, rookie from SC, signed weeks before the opener. We talked about that contract holdout. Actually got in an argument on the phone between his agent and the Cardinals negotiating. I mean, it was not pretty, but this is very pretty. And the protection is very pretty as well. I mean, Stanley, the ball, all he's going to do is cross the plane with the ball, and it's a touchdown.
And he did right as he was being wrestled out of bounds. The extra point is good by Kevin Butler. So just like that, Vince Tobin has his quarterback, Boomer Esiason, march the Cardinals down the field. The touchdown to McWilliams, a 7-point game again. 34-27, Washington leading Arizona. 7:37 remaining in the game.
You brought up a good point, Tom. It's a shame they showed their hand earlier on the onside kick, because now, had they not done that, would have been an excellent time to try.
Mitchell waiting back. And a very short kick by Butler. He's been kicking short all day today. It's taken by Mitchell at the 14-yard line, and he's got some room, and just stripped up by Marcus Dowdell, or else he had nothing but room in front of him.
Johnny McWilliams, 87. He was at the top of your screen. The protection, very good for Boomer Esiason. Let's see if he breaks the plane with the ball. That ball just has to touch that line. Right there, I think right before it hits the ground, it pierces the plane. Yeah, he's there. Referee standing right there.
There is a touchdown signal given. We mentioned the first in the career of Johnny McWilliams. So here we go from the 23, call it the 24-yard line. And they give us to Terry Allen, cuts it back the other way, And not much room there as he crosses the 30-yard line. Well, right now, let's again send it back to our Fox Television Center and James Brown.
Tom, 17th play of the drive, 32 seconds left in regulation. Philly looking to tie it up on this play here, but Bruce Smith sacks Ty Detmer, 5 Buffalo sacks, and the Eagles drop one to Buffalo, 24-17. Back to Tom and Ron.
Well, you want to know why those guys are looking kind of sad? That's why right there, that Buffalo game. Actually, they're happy.
I was going to say, wait a minute.
They're kind of happy. Yeah, right. They're kind of happy.
You're a lot smarter than I am, but I was waiting to figure that out.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, they're kind of happy.
Penalty flag comes down. Terry Allen still on his feet and hasn't been tackled yet, but apparently the play blown dead.
Prior to the snap, false start on the right guard offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
So there is the penalty, and Ronnie, that's why they're happy.
That's exactly right there.
I told you you're a lot smarter than I am.
They move up.
Well, they have a chance. And again, next week, the Redskins and the Eagles go toe-to-toe right here on Fox.
It won't be funny up there, I'll tell you that.
No, it will not be. 6:30 to play. A second down and 12 after the penalty, and Farrat will drop back to throw and dumps it off, dropped by Mark Logan. Normally the sure-handed receiving back for the Redskins, but couldn't hang on. Now this is a huge play coming up. A down and 12 for the Washington offense.
They answered the call on the last series and went down the field. Of course, they had the help with the interference penalty. Like you said, this is huge for them right now. They just can't get rid of Arizona. And Arizona has made the plays to stay in it.
Need to get to the 39-yard line for a first down, and Farrat drops back to throw. Good protection. And it's incomplete. He had an eye on Bill Brooks on a crossing pattern. So now the Redskins have to punt it away. Arizona gets the ball back with 6:18.
There's Michael Westbrook working on Bradford again. He thought he was wide open, and you know, he was wide open for a while. Guess he wanted it.
I should say. Well, Westbrook closing in on 100 yards receiving in the game. So now Dowdell stands back, awaiting the Matt Turk punt at his own 25. And they're going to set up for the return. And Turk sends Dowdell to his 23. And he brings it back to the 30, caught by Scott Turner. So Boomer Esiason will bring the Cardinal offense onto the field, trailing by 7. Crowd trying to will this Washington defense to stop Arizona. 34-27. Redskins lead with 6:07 to go. Cardinals begin the drive from their own 30. Esiason to Larry Centers, and he's to the 37.
Watch this. If you want to play special teams, watch what happens to Turner here. And now there's Darryl Pounds right there. Pounds gets pounded all the way down the field, but Turner makes the play. Pounds, and the worst part is Pounds has got to go play defense on probably the most important drive of the game.
Larry Centers cuts it to the outside.
There he is.
Midfield, and he's all the way to the 47-yard line, and a touchdown-saving tackle made by Stanley Richard.
Were we right on Larry Centers or what? I mean, this guy getting the ball more does more. I mean, it's good to have LaShawn Johnson, and it's good to have a Boomer Esiason who's throwing well today. But Larry Centers has been that one little thing that's thrown the defense off balance.
First down, Arizona to Washington, all of the 49. And Esiason again to throw. Good protection. Has a man on the far side of the field. And it's Anthony Edwards out to the 30, or the 44-yard line. But Boomer Esiason, you have to admire his play here today. He's thrown for over 300 yards on a badly sprained and beaten up big toe on his right foot. Had a couple of balls through receivers' hands for interceptions, and now he's in trouble. Gets it away, throws it high, and it was nearly his 4th pick of the day.
Boy, Ken Harvey, they got a flag down. Ken Harvey came on the outside as a pass rusher and caused havoc on that left side.
Holding against Arizona, so this will move him back.
Holding number 75 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
That's Lomas Brown.
Lomas Brown. All in all, this offensive line has held up today so far. And you thought with the ball love being out on that left side and then having to make the changes that it would be a problem. But so far, they've done a pretty good job.
Esiason on the shotgun, a 2nd down and 15. Here comes Harvey again. Esiason over the middle, catch made by Sanders. 1st down to the Washington 36-yard line.
And somebody came up with the ball there. Was that Daryl? No, that was Stanley Richard.
They're saying the receiver Sanders was down on the play. 1st down, Arizona.
Boy, they have done a good job with the in routes, the dig routes as they call them, working above the linebackers.
Sanders injured. We talked earlier. He came in questionable right from the very beginning with an ankle injury / toe injury.
We can see right here, maybe he did fumble the ball. Gets hit right there. His knee touches. But his knee is on the ground back there. I think he's down. I think that's a good call. Let's see here. Yeah, ball's in his hands. Knee is down. Plays over.
Sanders is still the injured Cardinal on the field.
Boy, Sanders has hung in there tough today, though. You got to give the guy that. I mean, he's not been 100%, but he's been out there trying to make plays and has made some plays. What's good about this for Arizona, they came back and did this after being put in the hole field position-wise. We saw that with the graphic we put up early in the 2nd half. And the time of possession, they had great time of possession. It kind of evened itself out. But somehow Esiason has made the big plays. That's been the difference. And there's always Tom Carter over there. They've been going after him all day long. Who's to say they won't go back to him at this part of the game?
4:07 left to play. It's 1st and 10 Arizona at the Washington 36-yard line. He took a hit as he threw, and it's well underthrown, and he was sandwiched.
Well, that's the first good shot I've seen Boomer Esiason take. Dexter Nottage, he was in there. Sterling Palmer was in there. Watch inside there. Nottage working on the other side of Redmond and just tosses it. Redmond has been criticized for not having the best feet. He gets his leverage on the outside. His weight on the outside gets tossed, and then now Boomer Esiason gets tossed after a throw.
2nd down and 10. Esiason again out of the shotgun. Good protection. Fires high, and it was nearly intercepted. It's very interesting in the career of Boomer Esiason. When he has thrown from anywhere from 300 to 349 yards, his record is 8-4 as a starter. When he has thrown over 349 yards, between 350 and 399, that record turns completely around the other way and goes to 3-8. Right now, he's 3 yards away from going into losing territory.
That's an excellent stat. I mean, that's scary if you're a Cardinals fan.
3:39 to go. 3rd and 10. Esiason escapes trouble, throws, caught, 1st down. Sanders to the Washington 20-yard line.
Last week, the Redskins' run defense was exposed. This week, I have to say their pass defense has been exposed. For a team that was not supposed to be able to pass the ball very well. In fact, Arizona comes into this game rated 20th in the NFL in terms of passing the football. They only average 194 yards per game. But Boomer Esiason's shooting holes in these people.
It looks like Sanders this time is cramping up a little bit. Well, it gives us a chance to tell you about the degree hot rookies around the NFL from Week 10. Danny Cannell of the Giants leading the victory over these Cardinals. New England's and Ohio State's very own Terry Glenn and Ray Lewis of the Baltimore Ravens for their performances last Sunday. Each week, Degree will honor the league's hottest rookie.
You don't have a thing for Ohio State guys,
no, not at all.
All right, I was just asking.
There's a rookie whose team played, his alma mater played Ohio State yesterday, and they should have never shown up.
You may get some mail from Illini fans, pal.
Cowboys and the 49ers.
And it won't be fan mail either.
No, it won't.
It'll be hate mail.
That one's coming up next, except for those of you here in Washington, D.C.
I know you put me on the spot last week against them. Now, who do you like in that game?
I like Dallas. How about you?
All right. I like the 49ers. I got to go against what you say. You know that.
Absolutely. So here we go. 3:08 to play. Arizona has the ball 1st and 10 at the Washington 20-yard line. Esiason in trouble, and down he goes at the 30. Second sack today, and this time Sterling Palmer got it. That's his first sack of the year.
Yeah, depth is what this team needed on defense in the defensive line last week. They didn't have it. They had 3 guys out, and now they're healthy and make plays. There's Palmer right there on the outside. He just beats Joe Wolf around the corner. I mean, Boomer's been used to throwing on the rhythm and having time back there. He didn't have the time on that play.
Palmer inactive the last 4 games, had arthroscopic surgery on his knee. Now a little delay to Leland McElroy. He breaks one tackle, but is smothered at the 25-yard line. This may take us down to the 2-minute warning.
Boy, that's a heck of a play for a guy to come in and run as his first play of the game, if I'm not mistaken. Tim Graham over there trying to signal in to Boomer what's going on with the clock, I guess, and Boomer's going to let it go down to 2.
He has plenty of time, a 10-second differential, so this will wind us down to the 2-minute warning. The Cardinals, when we come back, will be facing a 3rd down and 15. Washington leads by 7. Again, we'd like to thank the folks at Miller Brewing again for the great news of today's game. Thanks to the Miller Eagle. And what a game we have. Washington 34, Arizona 27, a 3rd and 15. Cardinals with the ball at the 25.
And I think you have to be fairly aggressive here to try to eat up as much of that 15 if you can't get the whole thing, so you don't leave yourself with a 4th and long.
They're coming after Esiason, who throws through the hands of the intended receiver, and it's intercepted by Pounds. Wow, the Redskins have sealed it right through the hands of Anthony Edwards, who looked to have a 1st down, and now Washington will get their 8th win of the season.
Well, we just said he had to be fairly aggressive because you don't want a 4th and long to go down here. The protection's decent. Woo, that is very close to being interference. Brian Walker looked as though he was on the heels of Dowdell as he leaped for the ball. Excuse me. Anthony Edwards as he leaped for the ball. Boy, talk about being in the right place, right time.
And that is a 4th interception served up by Esiason today. The Redskins will just try to run out the clock. The Cardinals do have 3 timeouts remaining. They're going to stop it here with 1:44 left on the clock. So we'll take a timeout. Be right back. This is the NFL on Fox.
Anthony Edwards is going to end up in this part of the field on the dig route. I want you to watch closely. Number 45, Brian Walker, looked as though he was on his heels before the ball got there. even before this point. Okay, we'll let it roll. Boy, that's close. That's close. The thing that saves him is he doesn't make contact high, where the officials can see it, blatantly.
Second down, Terry Allen stuffed at the line of scrimmage, and again Arizona's going to call timeout. Only 6 seconds burn off, 4 seconds burn off the clock. It stops at 1:39, and they have 1 timeout left.
As their Arizona could get this ball back very easily.
Well, this is a 3rd down play coming up. It's going to be a 3rd and 5. You see the numbers on Esiason. Gus Farad trotting over to the sideline to have a visit with Norv Turner. They know this is a big play.
And another problem here for Norv Turner too, it's not just a big play. You don't want to be too aggressive here and you have a turnover down here in your own end. I mean, if you don't get it, you want to hold it and then punt that ball and get it out of there. So your play calling, you have to come with something you run very well, which we talked about Norv, good at doing that. The ball security down here obviously is a must.
Well, the 1st down marker is just inside the 28-yard line. It's a 3rd down and a long 5. Short drop, quick throw, and it's batted down. Now a flag comes in. It'll be pass interference.
One referee says no. Another referee calls it a penalty. The line judge says the play was okay. Another one calls it. I don't understand.
Well, Bradford was tangled up with Michael Westbrook on the far side of the field. And I think they're going to, well, let's see. They're going to step away from the rest of the pack and talk this. This is a huge call right now. If they do call the pass interference, needless to say, the game for all intents and purposes is over. If there is no pass interference, Arizona's going to get the ball back with 1:35 left on the clock.
The ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, therefore no pass interference. 4th down.
So are they saying that it was indeed pass interference, but it was tipped? So it's off. I don't see a tip there. I'm sorry, Tom. I don't see the tip. Now, unless right here, Bankston gets something on it. Maybe here we'll see it. Well, I can't see it from there. If they say he tipped it, they're closer than we are. And he tipped it, but I didn't see it from there.
Turk punting from his own 5-yard line. Dowdell standing at the 30. Very good kick by Turk. Boy, this kid has a leg. Dowdell from his own 24. Makes a first man miss. And now slips to the 34-yard line. Tackle made by Brian Mitchell. A 10-yard return, and Turk a 55-yard boot.
Turk has done more for the Redskins defense today than the defense itself has done, because he has gotten them in great positions. He did it on the kick where he put the ball in the coffin corner on the 1-yard line. And Norv is upset. Oof. Norv is fired up about it. Now he gets another great punt.
I think he's still upset about that interference call, or the lack thereof, a moment ago. That would have put it on ice for the Redskins. Instead, Esiason went out, come to the field, 1:24 to play with.
Whew. That may be the maddest I've ever seen Norv Turner. Norv doesn't get like this. He is zooming right now. Hair messed up, headphones off, jacket open.
Arizona 1 timeout to play with, and Esiason guns it to the near side, making the reception, and stepping out of bounds is Marcus Dowdell at the 49-yard line. Clock stops at 1:18.
You know how much ground he just ate up in one pass and stopped the clock at the same time?
15-yard gain.
Well, I think a lot of pressure now goes on Ron Lynch, defensive coordinator. He's got to come up with something to keep this guy from going down the field.
Esiason works out of the shotgun, a 4-receiver set. Good protection, and it's dropped by Larry Centers. 1:14 left. Gives us a chance to tell you, our producer Pete Macheska and our director, and we certainly have very much enjoyed having him with us in the absence of Joe Assetti, who will return next week. Michael the Blumpkin Frank, our associate director, Saran Berjakov, our broadcast associate, Eric Burak, our technical producer, Don Rotante. Studio produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. Ed Bourne, David Hill, the executive producers. Esiason, great protection, and throws high across the middle to the intended receiver, Frank Sanders.
Protection's there, but Redskins only coming with a 3-man push. Look at it. There's only 3 guys rushing right there. Ron Lynn, the defensive coordinator, is playing to say, hey, go down the field. Let's see if you can take it all the way down there and tie this game up.
The ball at midfield, 1:09 to play. A 7-point Washington lead. And the Cardinals have 1 timeout remaining. Esiason sets up the screen to
He's got tons of room.
He's right down the middle of the field of the Washington 33-yard line. Stanley Richard on the tackle, and Esiason rushes him to the line of scrimmage after a gain of 18.
Great call by Jim Foster, the offensive coordinator. They got movement here.
Flags come down. Esiason has it picked off by Patton.
Ooh.
And this could put it away depending on who the offsides is against.
Or were they trying to blow that play dead before it?
Well, we're waiting to find out. It looked like Sean Gilbert had Esiason around the arm.
It's on Washington.
You're exactly right, Ron Pitts. Offsides against the Redskins.
You know, and the best part about this, if you're on the Arizona sideline, is that you...
Offsides. Number 96 on a defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Rich Owens. They got him coming across the neutral zone. The best part about this for Arizona, that's Harvey up there. He's in the middle right there. That's Rich Owens. I didn't see it that.
Ball spotted at the 30-yard line. 42 seconds left, and the Cardinals have 1 timeout remaining. Esiason steps up, looks for the end zone, and the throw is too tall for the intended receiver, Rob Moore.
Like you say, they have 1 timeout left. Unless someone lines up in the neutral zone.
Tough to tell, but I think you're right, Ron. He must have been a lineup in the neutral zone. 2nd down and 5 for the Cardinals at the Washington 30. Esiason in trouble. Stays on his feet, throws a reception made all the way down inside the 15 to the 12, and the clock continues to run. And Esiason has to spend the last Arizona timeout on the completion to Rob Moore, and Vince Tobin
I want to see
how he got out of bounds.
I want to see why that clock keeps running. I don't understand that one. To me, and you tell me if I'm wrong, Tumper, that looked like he got out of bounds.
It did from here, but we're a long ways away.
I mean, maybe from our angle, we can't see that. Now, Darryl Green giving him tons of room. Unless the knee touches, which is what had to have happened, inbounds. Let's see we'll see if that knee touches inbounds, then he is legally inbound still. That's a good call. There it is right there. We couldn't see it from our angle, but he is inbound.
While we have a moment, we'd like to pass along get well wishes to Valerie Bader, who is in the hospital in New Mexico watching today. Valerie, our Infinite operator. And she is the mother of Joe Flynn, who is on our crew each and every week. So get well soon, Valerie, and certainly we're thinking about you, as is your son, Joe. Right now, Arizona thinking about tying up this game and sending it to overtime. And for those of you waiting, Game 2 of our Fox doubleheader will immediately follow the conclusion of this game, with the exception here in Washington. The Cowboys and the 49ers from 3Com Park in San Francisco. Ball at the 12-yard line. Arizona out of timeouts. Esiason looking for the end zone. Has a receiver. Touchdown, Arizona. Anthony Edwards is gone in. So Esiason marches his team down the field yet again, and Arizona is a point-after-touchdown away from sending this one to a possible overtime. Can you believe it?
And don't forget, Tom, like you say, this is a very big point. We can't take this one for granted. New kicker coming in. Kevin Butler's looked solid all game long. He's got to get this one in. Or Anthony Edwards. Nothing fancy, just a quick out route. And we talked about what Washington had exposed last week in Buffalo. Well, this week it was a passing game.
Aaron Graham, the snapper, Fiegels, the holder, Butler, the point after, and it is good. And with 20 seconds left, we are tied at 34. Well, you got to give a lot of credit to Vince Tobin's team.
He'll be on this side of the screen right here. That'll be Anthony Edwards. He's just going to run out about 5-6 yards. Nobody's there. Brian Walker's the nearest man to him. He's a good 3 yards away. That's too easy. So you can see Walker on your screen right now. Boy, but I'm sorry, Tom, the protection has been there for Boomer Esiason. And you know, nothing makes a guy have a better game than when he's taken out, sat down, and then has a chance to come back in and prove himself again, which is exactly what Boomer Esiason has had a chance to do. Kit Graham was supposed to be the guy, stepped in, had decent games. He gets hurt. Maybe Boomer looks at, hey, this is my last hurrah. You know, he talked out there last couple of weeks about how it's going to be fun, and he's not going to get flustered and enjoy his next 7 games if it's his last 7 games.
And Esiason, he took a hit. But you see the clenching of the fist, celebrating the touchdown throw to Anthony Edwards. 34 all with 20 seconds left.
that cloud over Norv Turner's head with November losses is still alive and well.
The always dangerous Brian Mitchell waits back with a rookie, Stephen Davis. Line drive kick, and Mitchell will have a chance to return it from a 12. And he is tripped up and stopped at the 30-yard line by Aaron Graham along with Devin McDonald. So 16 seconds left.
Norv was scorching over that last call. I'd say, to me, Arizona did everything they had to do to get to this point today. They came in, and we talked about it. Score, they got on the board. And they forced Washington to get away from a 100% run game. And then they used the time of possession. They worked the clock. They kept Terry Allen on the bench.
The Redskins have all 3 timeouts left. Farad in trouble, drops it off. Mitchell's headed for the sideline, and he will be pushed out of bounds at the 39, call it the 40-yard line. 8 seconds left. Well, for Blanton, who is connected already in the game today from 53 yards, they would have to give him at least a fighting chance, say from inside 55. They would have to get the ball to the Arizona 38-yard line. That would be roughly a 22-yard gain from where the ball is spotted right now. Only 3 men rushing the quarterback. Farad throws, and it's batted down. Actually batted down by Ellard as Aeneas Williams was about to pick it off.
Now they just got to take a shot up deep. They got to go the big bend. They got to put 3 on one side and take a shot for the interference downfield. I'm surprised they didn't work more in the center of the field on that play. I mean, I guess they tried to, but I think I'd try to work away from Aeneas Williams and go again to Bradley. They've had success with him.
Well, if anybody knows a thing or two about the Hail Mary pass, Westbrook was at Colorado when they did it to Michigan. And Farad will go down. And that is not a fumble. That is an incompleted pass. And Eric Swan was there on the tackle. So regulation is over. The Arizona Cardinals and Washington Redskins were tied at 13 apiece at halftime. The Redskins scored 14 unanswered points to take a 14-point lead in the 3rd quarter. But Arizona...
This game will go overtime. In the overtime period, we play the overtime period just like the 4th quarter. team has allocated 2 team timeouts. Period. We have a 3-minute intermission here. First team that scores will win.
So to finish up the scoring, the Cardinals get 21 points against the Redskins, 7 in the fourth quarter to tie the game at 34. There are the overtime rules. Coin toss will determine, of course, possession. 1 15-minute quarter, 2 timeouts per team, and if you score, you'll win if you score first. And here is some overtime facts for you, Ron Pitts. You're kind of a stat guy.
I tell you, that has been the stat. I mean, the team that gets that ball.
He called tails. It is tails.
So Arizona.
You want the football, you'll stay right here.
Percentage on its side. Cardinals will get the ball. We're going to overtime in the nation's capital.
Coors Light, the silver bullet. It's shipped cold to tap the clean taste of the Rockies.
Good boy.
The new Coors Light wide mouth can is here with a giant opening for a smoother pour.
Uh-oh.
Boom.
Would you like to dance?
What? You believe this?
I'm gonna show you.
Nice pants.
Dockers Stonewash khakis.
Tom Brenneman, Ron Pitts, our entire Fox crew back in Washington, D.C. Arizona scored on its final drive with 20 seconds remaining.
I tell you, this Arizona winning the toss helps them. They're going to get more out of it than if Washington won the toss than they would get out of it, because they got Kevin Butler, who has been known to kick tons of last-minute, last-second field goals. And the way four game-winning field goals for Butler. Now, and you also have Boomer Esiason. He has gone up and down the field all day today. He's getting protection and he's finding people. Whatever he had as far as a sore arm or his mechanics or turf toe, hey, that stuff, forget that. The guy has played well today. They don't have to get very close for Kevin Butler.
Well, Kevin Butler, if you're curious, his career long, of course, came with the Bears, 55 yards. He's kicked 4 game-winning field goals in his career. But Boomer Esiason has been the story today for Arizona. Esiason, thus far in the game, is hit on 26 of 48, 425 yards. 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Leland McElroy will bring it out. Fakes a handoff to Dowdell this time and is tripped up at the 19-yard line by William Bell.
Would it be not a great move from the front office in Arizona if Butler could go down here and kick a game-winning field goal? I mean, they make the move just this week with Davis, get him out, get Butler in.
Well, the Redskins have a chance to go in the first place by themselves in the NFC East. Play fake. Esiason hits Sanders, who is smoked by Darrell Green, and Sanders somehow hangs on.
Just say he was smoked by Darrell Green. I tell you, Darrell Green, 36 years old, coming up laying wood like that.
It's amazing he hung onto the ball. He turns it over there. This one's over.
Is it? Oh, it's been a hard day for Frank Sanders. A good day in many respects, but a hard day.
2nd and 6. Esiason finds Centers. He's wrapped up and dropped at the 26 by Patrice Alexander. And right now, let's return to James Brown in our Fox Television Center.
Tom, San Francisco out early on Dallas. Take a look at the total yards there and look at this play here. Steve Young looking for a receiver. I know Ron knows the name. Ifeanyi Owozike. I want to hear Ron Pitts try that again. Back to Tom Brenneman and Ron Pitts.
Ifeanyi Owozike.
That was a good try.
There it is. JP, there it is.
Big play, 3rd and 4 for the Cardinals. Opening possession in the overtime. Esiason drills a strike across the middle. First down reception made by Anthony Edwards.
That's what
the chain.
That's what I'm talking about. Boomer Esiason moving the chains all day long. This defense, we said at the beginning of the game, they have to start playing like a playoff defense. You can say what you want to about what Arizona wasn't offensively coming into the game, but they have had trouble stopping this team.
They hand it off to centers. Not much room there as he's met head on at the 33. Patrice Alexander has had an outstanding game
sure
for
has.
the Redskins.
Yeah, he's come and stepped in and made a lot of plays back there. And this was the first game that for Washington they were healthy 100% on the defensive line, except for Tony Wood. They have everybody back. So why aren't they getting to the quarterback?
Second down. Esiason steps out of trouble and again drops it off to Sanders, who has a first down out to his own 44-yard line. Turner on the tackle.
And what do you say? Boomer's hurt him down the field deep. He's hurt him underneath. He's going to drag all the way across the field underneath, and that's where they've been hurt a lot. You can see the linebackers not real sure where to go. Scott Turner on the coverage. If he doesn't have any help inside, that's a long way to cover.
First down for the Cardinals.
Look at Center.
And Center still on his feet to the Washington 45-yard line. And another Arizona first down.
Do I hear boos?
You hear lots
Do I hear boos? The defense had to play better this game. I don't think they've stepped up, Tom, and made the difference. I don't think they've gone to that next level to be playoff type. The game's not over yet. We understand that. The Boomer and the rest of these guys have been piling them up.
Rashawn Johnson takes it to the Washington 42 for Boomer Esiason. This is the first time since November the 22nd of 1987 that he has thrown for more than 400 yards in a game. I mean, you're talking about the heyday of a Cincinnati offense led by Esiason that ranked in the top 3 in the NFL for 5-6 consecutive years.
And when he came here, this was supposed to be the Southwest offense, you know, like the West Coast. They were supposed to call this the Southwest offense.
Second down and 7. Swing out to centers, and he is met head on by Stanley Richard. No gain on the play. Third down coming up, and a big third down it is.
Well, I mean, this is about as big of a play as it gets right now for both teams. And I say that because for Arizona, they need a win like this for their season. For Washington, it still goes back to the defense. They got to prove that they can shut somebody down at a crucial time.
First down is at the 35. It's third down and 7.
He's changing it. He's changing it. Remember what happened the last time he changed the play?
He just does beat the play clock. They're coming after Esiason. Throws to Sanders, first down. 25 to the 20-yard line.
Boomer.
And Arizona in line now for a shocking win if they can pull this one off.
Boomer Esiason at the line of scrimmage. Go back to the days of Sam Weiss in Cincinnati. That's what he did best, and he's done it twice. And every time he's done it, he's gotten somebody open. I mean, it's man-to-man coverage. Turner looks like he's on the coverage. He just can't stay with it. It was the same route they ran 3 plays ago.
All right, how soon do you think about going to Butler?
I think you center the ball in the middle of the field and then let him kick it.
Hand it off to Johnson, right up the gut. He's inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. If they kick it, or rather the 14-yard line, I'm sorry, inside the 15.
They just want to get that ball in the center of the field. They might want to run one more. I don't know. I think you're in his range. He's a guy that's been there before. He knows the pressure. You got to give him a shot.
And LaShawn Johnson was injured on the carry. He'll be helped off the field by the medical staff and his teammates.
You know, it's interesting. I talked to Kevin Butler before the game. I walked by him. I said, "Hey, man, how you doing? What have you been doing?" He said, "Well, I've just been working out and kicking every now and then." I said, "Kicking every now and then?" He said, "Yeah, just in case something comes up and I get a chance to play again." Yeah, well, you got your shot to play again. He said, "Well, I'm just happy to be here. You know, maybe I can help these guys out." Well, Kevin, here's your chance to help these guys out.
The fans in Chicago were very, very, very upset when Butler was waived by the Bears in favor of Jeff Jager.
Well, I don't understand how you make a move like that. Now, if the guy's on a skid, like Greg Davis was on a skid around here for a little bit, then, you know, if he's making a lot of money with the salary cap, then you maybe have to do something. But Butler, time after time, has made field goals to beat people.
For Boomer Esiason, the second most prolific day in what will be one day, I'm sure, a Hall of Fame career. Esiason, the most prolific left-handed quarterback in NFL history. And I should correct myself very briefly. Kevin Butler was not waived in favor of Jager. He was waived in favor of Carlos Huerta out of Miami of Florida.
Right.
They let him go very early in the season and then brought on Jager. And here comes Butler for a game-winning field goal try.
And, you know, I just don't like North Turner's chances with this November hex as I see a guy like Kevin Butler come on the field to kick a game-winning field goal in overtime. I'm sorry. That hex may still go.
And the Redskins are going to try and put the veteran Butler on ice. They'll spend the timeout. Well, Norv Turner. He told us, Ronnie, when we met with him on Friday, that he felt his team had put behind the Buffalo loss. Yes, a difficult loss, but nonetheless, it was time to now zero in on Arizona.
They did put it behind, but you don't get rid of things that make you what you are. And what's going on with Washington right now, they don't have the people they need in certain positions on defense. It got exposed last week in Buffalo. It got exposed again today. Now, you could say, hey, that was Buffalo. They came out with the K gun and, you know, they got people and all that kind of stuff in playoff atmosphere. But, you know, what are they going to say now with Arizona? A team that supposedly is not doing very well, has all these problems way down here.
And look what the loss here would mean for Washington. Philadelphia's already lost today.
So Philadelphia now is maybe starting to smile a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, here we go. The center will be Aaron Graham. The holder, the punter, Jeff Fiegels. And the ball will be spotted at the 22. It's a 32-yard field goal try for Butler. This would win the game if it's good. And the Cardinals have come to Washington. It's missed. They've missed a chance to come to Washington and get a victory, at least for the time being.
I thought when it left his foot, Tom, and it was hard to see from that angle, that he pulled it to the left. He got it up, but he pulled it. Let's see, that's a rookie center now. That snap is perfect. The hold is perfect, tilted a little bit. I don't know at what point the ball goes through. I mean, wow.
And here's another look.
It's going to be tough again from this angle.
Well, the Redskins get the ball after the field goal miss of 32 yards by Kevin Butler. 9:09 to play in the overtime, and Allen makes the reception and comes to the 26-yard line.
Vince Tobin did everything he was supposed to do. The team did everything they're supposed to do. Vince Tobin on the other sidelines is in anguish. Norv Turner, look at that tongue. Oh. I'd like to have an EKG on him.
Ecstasy, and now the
But
action.
Tom, like he did the same thing you did. The ball looked like it was in.
Sure did. I started the sentence. They would have come to Washington and shocked it, but no. Big run for Allen. And he is pushed out of bounds in midfield.
Boy, you know, It all comes back to Terry Allen somehow. We got to go back to that field goal. The ball looks like it goes right over the top of that upright, and if that's the case, then that ball is no good. If it comes over the top of the upright, it is called a no-good ball. But even from this angle, I can't tell if it does do that.
Boy, that was tight. The Redskins, they're glad to have it. They have the ball at midfield, and again, it's Terry Allen, and he's to the Arizona 47-yard line.
Well, you got your money's worth now. This is something else here.
Arizona goes 66 yards. After taking the kickoff to begin the overtime, they elect not to run another play, bring on Kevin Butler for the 32-yard field goal attempt, and missed it.
What do you say? You got the guy. Who else would you rather go to the line with and kick a game winner than Kevin Butler?
Terry Allen off the left side, trying to break it to the outside, and is stopped at the 42, so it'll bring up a third down and a long 2 yards for the Redskins.
This is where Arizona's defense has to step up and say, okay, forget what happened, forget the disappointment. Remember how we played against these guys the whole game. This is where they need him more now than ever. And remember Davis. Nobody is happier in the United States right now than Greg Davis. He's sitting back somewhere just smiling after that.
Third down and 2. In motion, and they'll hand it to Terry Allen, and he did not make the Mitchell did not make the first down.
Thanks, and better be cool. Don't hit him back.
Right, if you're Norv Turner, do you automatically punt? Depending on the spot, you're looking at
you have to.
Fourth
you
and
have
3.
You have to.
And that's what he'll do.
Because of the way the offense for Arizona's gone down the field on you. Your defense can't slow him down. They can't do it. They've proven they can't do it. You got to try to play the field position game then. And that's the kind of play I'm talking about, Tom. They stepped up and they said, hey, we can stop him. We've stopped him before, and they stopped him and forced the turnover.
So the Arizona defense stands tall, and now Turk looking for another little cruise kick. And he has a right angle, it looks like, but it's into the end zone. So they'll bring it out to the 20. And again, Boomer Esiason will get yet another chance. He has already thrown for 472 yards. And bear in mind, in 3 other starts this season, Esiason coming into the game today had thrown for a combined 512 yards. So thrown for 40 less yards in this game alone than 3 other games combined.
Well, you know, life was rough after he got benched after that New England loss. You know, that's when he came out in the papers and said, hey, I am not going to put myself in that position mentally again to sulk all week long and be down about it. I'm going to enjoy my time here. He's enjoyed his time so far.
And they'll go right back to the air. They're setting up the screen. And it's Esiason Johnson, who was injured a little while ago, and he brings it across the 30. The ball is loose.
I think he's down, but you see how they call it.
And the Redskins have the football. Are they saying Washington ball? Yes, they are. Daryl Morrison covered it up. Esiason Johnson coughed it up.
Tom, do you remember what I said way back in the beginning of the game about Esiason Johnson? He's going to do 1 of 3 things. He's going to make a great run. He's going to get hit and knocked unconscious, number 2, or he's going to get hit and fumble the ball. And unfortunately, and I'm not trying to bury the guy, but that's what happens here. Because he's such a competitor, and let's first of all see if he does fumble it. Yeah, it's out. It's clean.
Green.
Because he's such a competitor and runs so hard and has that mentality and no fear, he puts himself in positions like that. And you know another thing about Esiason Johnson, he runs high. He takes a lot of hits. That Tampa Bay game, I thought Melvin Johnson was going to kill him. He got knocked out twice.
Green caused the fumble. Green playing in his 196th game as a Redskin. And this is Terry Allen, and he carries it down to the 21-yard line. Plant continues to get loose. He'll have a chance to put trying to get away with a takeaway on defense. Not going to happen.
6 turnovers. It's amazing you can be in a game that close with that many turnovers. Boy, there's Butler.
Butler had a chance to win it if you're just joining us. In the overtime, missed a 32-yard field goal try. Second down. Ryan Mitchell will be shy of the first down. He's to the 20. And Blanton is now walking along the sideline. And are they going to give him a chance here on third down? Should something go wrong, or they wait until fourth down?
And it's a matter of how many times can you ask your defense to step up? What does Dave McGinnis, the defensive coordinator for Arizona, say to his guys right now?
Stuffed and actually lost a yard back to the 22. Matt Darby, a strong safety position, comes racing up. So now the rookie's actually in his second year, but he was inactive due to a groin injury in 1995. Blanton has not missed inside of 40 yards this season. This will be from 38 yards out, and the Cardinals are going to try and do the same thing Washington did to Butler, and that's put him on ice. It worked for the Redskins, so the Cardinals figure turnabout's fair play.
You know, a guy can stand in practice with a live rush and hit from this distance, I'd say 7, 8 out of 10 times. But you get him in the game with the pressure and the intensity, it's never automatic. It's not even close.
Again, coming up, except for here in D.C., the Cowboys and the 49ers. San Francisco leading that game 10-0. Now, for Blanton, he's made a couple of big field goals this season. He did seal a win against New England with 56 seconds left to play, but that wasn't directly to win the game. So Blanton, the second-year pro out of Oklahoma, who from 30 to 39 yards out this season is 2 for 2. This one will be from 38 yards away.
It looks like a long ways, doesn't it? Wow.
Farrat will hold it. It's down, and it is good, but a penalty flag is down on the field, so hold everything.
Trey Johnson is running off the field.
Redskin players are running into the tunnel.
And it's
against Washington. Can you believe this?
There are 3 Redskins off the field right now.
The kick was good by Blanton.
Trey Johnson is off the field.
Holding number 89 on the offense. 10-yard penalty.
Galbraith.
Replay, fourth down.
Ooh. 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 Right there. Now he's the wing guy. And his first concern is to stop the inside, but that means that they're usually late on the outside guy. Boy, but look at the penetration inside, though. I mean, Tom, this is amazing. They got penetration everywhere on the right side of that kick.
But the kick was still good, and now it backs him up 10 yards, and rather than a 38-yard field goal try, it becomes 48. Blanton's season long is 50.
This is a haul here.
And it is wide left. The game goes on. Absolutely, positively unbelievable, this game in Washington today. If you are curious, the last tie in the NFL was 1989 on November the 19th between Kansas City and Cleveland. It was a 10-10 game.
Well, you know, and it's a valid call. It was a good call. Galbraith hooked the end man coming around the outside. Now here's Tobin. Now he gets a chance to watch a game winner being kicked on him. He's smiling. like he knew right at the snap it was going to be no good.
So Esiason again comes out. Pump fake, throws across the middle. A wide open receiver is Carter inside the 40, down to the Washington 37-yard line.
Let me ask you this, Tom. If Butler gets a chance to kick again, what do you think will happen?
Well, I don't want to get into it. Everything crazy that could happen has happened today. 24-yard gain. And the play is blown dead before it ever gets started. So let's go back to the made field goal a short while ago from 38 yards out.
There's Galbraith right there. Now watch his right arm. That's a legit call. That is completely legit. He grabs Aeneas Williams by his neck. He had to. Because if he doesn't, Aeneas is going to probably come around and block the kick. I don't care what people say to Galbraith. I don't care what they tell him. I don't care how much money he's making. If Arizona goes down and wins this game, he will never forget that play. You never forget those kind of plays. Boy, that's like dropping a big interception or fumbling a ball. That's a huge one in a huge game. You know, I got the feeling everybody here kind of felt like, and I'm not talking about the players, but just in the city in general, felt like the Redskins could breeze through this one. You know, and you had to think that, I guess, with the troubles they had and where they are in the conference and all that kind of stuff. But boy, it has been anything but a breeze for the Redskins.
Well, you saw those numbers, Ronnie. 510 yards passing today for Boomer Esiason, his prior career high. You have to turn back the clock wearing a Bengal uniform, as you might imagine. He had 490 yards passing against the LA Rams on November the 7th of 1990. And Esiason now trying to put his team in position again to try and win the game. Washington defense tries to stop it. And Esiason wants a boatload for Sanders. And it's broken up in the end zone.
Tom Carter makes the play of the day. Wow. Tom Carter may have a good night's sleep because of this play. They try to do the stop and go, and thank goodness for catch-up speed. All he can do is play the hands. When the hands go and the eyes get big, swat, and that's what he does. That's all he had.
And Frank Sander, the courage of this second-year player, second-round choice a season ago out of Auburn, came into the game with a very badly injured toe, badly injured ankle, and he's been in there by and large a whole game.
Well, what a call. Jim Fossil with a pump and go on that side. Look at Carter. All he can do is play the hands. He might be a little early, but boy, they practice that in training camp time after time. They stand 5 yards apart. Coach throws the ball. You just practice swatting when you think and feel that he's going to catch that ball. And like I said, it's so key that you look in the eyes, because the eyes will get big when that ball's there. If you're a half a second too soon, it's interference. If you're a half a second too late, you're beaten. The game's over.
And again, as nighttime descends upon Washington, D.C., all these gorgeous shots provided by the Miller Eagle, being tested as a new way of doing this type of television coverage. It's been an aerial display for Norman Julius Esiason, better known as Boomer. And he is trying to lead the Cardinals to a win here today, but the Washington defense, can they find a way to come up with yet another stop?
Well, Fossil's called a great game. I got to give him credit for that one, too. But that's the Boomer Esiason that they thought they had when they signed it. Now, what happened the last couple weeks in the New England game, I don't know. And we can talk about the injuries and all that stuff till the cows come home, but this is the guy that they wanted on this offense.
There you see the score of the San Francisco-Dallas game. For most of you, you'll be joining that game deep into the second quarter following the conclusion of this game. We have 3:17 to go. Sanders does limp off the field, but we've seen him do that before already today, and chances are he will return. We'll have to wait and see.
And how many times has Kevin Butler died today and come back to life and died again? watching this thing go back and forth.
2nd and 10, Edwards in motion. Esiason had the ball batted as he turned it loose. So it'll bring up 3rd and 10.
What happens when a pitcher doesn't get enough out and he hits the ground, hits the plate, he dragged his foot too long? You're a baseball guy, you tell me.
Right.
Is that it?
Yeah, a little arm speed. Maybe hung onto the curveball a little too long.
That's right. You're going to be the guy out there, aren't you? Mr. Arizona Diamondbacks. You're my guy. I can't wait to take that flight over into Sky Harbor and see you, pal.
Can't be it. 3rd down and 10. They're out of Butler's field goal range right now. Edwards in motion. Esiason guns it in there. Reception made, and then a big, huge run after the reception by Marcus Dowdell. He has a 1st down to the Washington 23-yard line.
Is this a great game or what? Dowdell right there. He's running what they call the hide route. He breaks the tackle here, but he knows exactly where the marker is. And then he protects the ball. I thought Walker was going to strip him the way he came down on the right side.
Kevin Butler signed this week when Greg Davis was released. Had a chance to win it in overtime. Missed a field goal. Will he get another chance? LaShawn Johnson, who has left the game, watches as Larry Centers carries inside the 20 down to the 17-yard line.
Ken Harvey makes a game saver. I mean, an ankle saver.
And now LaShawn Johnson is checking back into the game. We thought he was too injured to perhaps come back out. But another tough decision as a timeout is called, or we've reached a 2-minute warning rather here in the overtime. Again, decision time for Vince Tobin. When is enough enough? We'll be back to D.C. in a moment.
Beau pantalon.
Hey, she says nice pants.
Des American for here.
Darker stonewashed khakis.
Sir, is that good here?
Oui.
Coors Light, the silver bullet. It's shipped cold to tap the clean taste of the Rockies. The new Coors Light wide mouth can is here with a giant opening for a smoother pour.
Kevin Butler hoping for one more chance. The two made field goals came in regulation from 26 and 39. The 32-yard miss came in this overtime.
I tell you what, Tom, and I'll go on a limb and say this, barring bad snap hold and all that, if Kevin Butler misses this one, he's not the kicker he once was. I'll say that. I mean, you don't give a guy like this that many chances and not come away without being hurt. He's done it too many times.
The story today certainly has been the play of Boomer Esiason. He has thrown for a career-high 510 yards.
I know what happened. Arizona, they were reading those clippings about Arizona State going to the Rose Bowl. It got everybody fired up.
Centers takes a handoff, and he's dropped immediately. So this will bring up 3rd down. Esiason on this drive has tacked on a few more yards and now thrown for 523 yards. And now the question again becomes, on 3rd down, do you go ahead and kick just in case something goes wrong? You can cover it up and try it again.
I think I would. I think I would. Now, another thing, that ball is on the left hash. They don't look like they're trying to get it to the other hash, unless they do it here. He missed that kick, I believe, from the other hash, on the right hash before. So maybe they'll say, let's leave it on the left hash this time and let him kick it. He put it in the middle.
He's going to put it right in the middle of the field.
Yeah, that ball was on the right hash when he missed it the first time. Now it's dead center.
Clock ticking down under 1:10. And Butler is walking out for a second time. It is rarely you have a second chance to kick a game-winning field goal in overtime. Kevin Butler has that chance right now. The ball spotted at the 27. Beagles the holder. Graham the snapper. A 37-yard field goal attempt to win it. And the kick hits the upright.
There it is.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. A late penalty flag has come in.
I thought I saw somebody on the outside jump from Washington.
It came in very, very late.
Offsides, defense,
Wow.
number 38, 5-yard penalty. Replay, fourth down.
You were asking where Morrison was, and well, there he is. I thought I saw somebody on the way outside.
First the miss.
I mean, he'll take paint off that.
Well, here he goes again, this time from 32 yards. The third chance Butler has had in the overtime to win it. Snap down, and this one is good. And Arizona has won the game with 33 seconds left to play in the overtime. 37-34 the final. An absolutely mind-boggling win for the Cardinals here today. Washington looked as though they had won it in overtime, but a penalty took away a made field goal. They missed the next time.
And North Turner is still 0 for November.
And unquestionably, the biggest win in that man's coaching career, short albeit as a head coach.
Look at that.
Celebration on one side,
Jim Skipper.
Tremendous disappointment on the face of Norv Turner on the other side. His team, quite frankly, gave this game away.
See, Jim Skipper, the running back coach for Arizona, actually kicked the ball through himself on the sidelines there.
So for Ron Pitts, Tom Brenneman, so long from RFK. Cardinals in overtime winning 37-34. Fox Sports coverage of the NFL will continue after these messages from your local Fox station.
This has been a presentation of Fox Sports, home of the Stanley Cup, World Series, and Super Bowl 31.